getting in my face. Hey everybody, let me get this going. Welcome back, everybody, to the continuing adventures of Me Not Streaming. Yeah, it's been about a month. And I haven't streamed actual, like, fishing in, since November. Wait, October. What comes before? Whatever, August, September. Yeah. I haven't streamed since then. Because then October happened, and then I was like, well, I'm only gonna stream Halloween stuff, and then I'm not gonna stream fishing until I'm done with the Halloween stuff, and the Halloween stuff never really got done. And, here I am in almost February, and it's like, you know what, the Halloween stuff will happen when it happens. Other things of note. News flash. Other things of note. Had to clean install Windows 10. Which means this is kind of basically a brand new everything. I moved over my old files, so the permissions on those get kind of weird. So stuff might break or be broken. Other notes, Sprout has been updated. I updated my model to the new Vroid model, which has like the which has like the teeth stuff. Teeth are different. Also wearing like new outfit. I have to put the outline back on my face, maybe. I may or may not put the outline back on my face. Other things of note. My leap motion, I'm using the new Gemini, the new Gemini leap motion, which seems to be able to track a lot better. Like, I didn't have to set up, like, in the thing that whether it's up or down or left or right, it's just, you know, turn it on and we'll figure your hands out. So, tracking seems to be doing a lot better. That's about it. I got I put up my donation command in chat. If anyone wants the units, just, exclamation point donate. I think they call it bang in programming or something. Have hash or pound and then like the exclamation points like they call the bang. I don't know, I don't program. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, we're here to fish. I'm gonna go turn on. Hang on, sorry, I just looked over at my TV and I'm just like gazing at my hair texture, like, what it really looks like? Oh, I guess that's another news. I found out my TV can do, like, the colors on it are probably not HDR, but, like, the darks are dark, the lights are light, and it's also 10-bit, so it does all those colors in between. Yeah, I'm just, you know, being amazed. Anyway, mission. Switch to 3DS. Working before. Switch to 3DS.
3DS 主様。
Yeah. Okay. I still need to fix Ren types coming in and coming out. He's supposed to turn himself off, and then when this happens, then he's supposed to turn himself on. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm hoping I can get just a ping tuber program to where I can just say, all right, take audio from this program and do the ping thing whenever you hear audio. That would be the anyway. I oh, where the hell is it? Also um my F buttons on my key. So I have a Logitech keyboard, and they did the dumbest thing by making all your function keys like they turned them into like media keys, you know, like volume, play, search, and all. They made that the main function. Like, who does that? And then to get the F key, you're supposed to hit function. So it's been back and forth, like turning it off and turning it on to get it to be like, no, the function keys are the F key. I don't need all these stupid media keys. Like, put the media keys as the optional function. So it's been fighting back and forth, turning it on and off. Another thing for this is had it like that. Okay, one more time. Vision, it's happening. It only took 11 billion years. Other things of note. I've probably forgotten how to play this game. Oh yeah, and the audio was messed up or something. Catch another big one. Land a Nile perch over 3 feet long. Atlantic tarp on even Nile perch that size should be enough for you. I still haven't figured out how to do the like the tails that are being disappeared. The top 3 buttons. Ah, yeah, that... It's back. I don't even remember if that's a perch or not. But I'm thinking that the fins have the back face culling flipped the wrong, like, the... Instead of turning culling off, the culling is, it's set for one of the faces or something. I hope everything's sounding okay, like my voice is coming through okay, and the game audio doesn't sound like garbage. But besides the skipping and the dee 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 going on. I bet you're, like, the fish I'm not even supposed to catch. I'm probably, like, wasting all my time on this fish. Like, I really wish it'd tell me, like, how long to reel the fish in. With, I played a bit more of Road Trip Adventure, and you can at least see it, like, where it is in the water. Here it's like, where the hell is the fish in relation to everything? Clenching my gut muscles. Like, this is supposed to be a relaxing, cozy fishing adventure. I see it coming, like, towards me. It's the same tactic as I use in Road Trip. Had this noise. like, there we go. I don't know what to say. I'm like, yeah, that noise is like bothering me. Okay, that's what I need. Well, that's a lunker if I ever saw one. You have no idea how long that took me to catch. Got one more challenge in the tropical river, but I'll tell you about that tomorrow. For now, just relax and have a good night. I think my fish is big. Always gotta go for the bigger fish. Morning! Great day for fishing, ain't it? Atlantic tarpon, 5 feet. The size of a man! All of these are gonna be like, oh, there we go. Tarpon special, yeah, there we go. Very, very specific lure. That I didn't know I had. What I need? Let's do the road trip trick. Works. Or if I snap my line, I'm willing to risk it. Remember, don't get your fish caught on geometry. Actually not seeing the fish come forward. Come on, fishy, you can do it. I also might add, this might be the last video on the Paradise 3. I'm not certain how much I have left to do. I actually finish it today. Yeah, all these stream just like really something you want to hear. But like, why does the tension gauge always go up to the max? Like, I played Road Trip Adventure, and you can see the tension on the wire between green and red, and it'll only go beep, 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 when it's in the red. Like, if I hit the button, it automatically just shuts up. Is there a technique I'm not... Alright, to relieve tension a lot, I... You know, it's like I'm so late in the game, it's like, I figured out how to game! Like, the game doesn't have a tutorial that says, like, you know, like... Swing your rod from side to side, come on, let's go, let's do the... Benio. I do believe a Benio is a type. Might have figured it out. And then we go to a different game, and then it all changes. There we go. Are you a tarpon? 5 feet long? No. Well, I mean, you are a tarpon, but you're not 5 feet long. We need a long fish! A long fish? But I am searching for you. Fish. Fish, fish. Fish. Big fish. On. Fish. Big. Gonna check to see if the tails are like that in the original version. I did see a game recently to where like the backface culling was broken in the original of the game, and it's like, yeah, no amount of emulation is gonna fix that because it's being emulated properly. Which... I'm gonna say something about emulation. I'm gonna try and do Thursday's stream. Because I need to get back into Revenant Saga again and remember what was going on in that game. I remember it was kind of a mess. Now I feel the fish. Come on, fish. No. we go. Are you 5 feet long? Yes. You are 5 feet long. You are what I need. Wow, what a catch. I think it's time to shake things up a bit with a new fishing location. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do there. Tackle for you, Trail metal jig set. But you probably aren't using it on the next area, even though I just gave you this new thing. As a matter of fact, you're probably never going to use it for the rest of the game. And a pyramid for the freshwater and saltwater tank. Do I want to trade out my hoop? I don't even know what it looks like. Probably gonna look at the hooch and go. Like, yeah, I could have swapped you out. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think this fish looks cute. It's a cute fish. My smallmouth bass. Have my smallmouth bass. A fishy. Spotted gar. And my snakehead. Okay, let's see here. Pyramid. I'm gonna take out. Back there. Looks good. I think that looks good. Move some of these plants around. A lot of weed around. I'm gonna go mess with the audio again. Like, this is like the audio that allows me to save a state, which then the other audio doesn't allow me to save a state, so... Star Destroyer Rock. What fish do we have here? Longtooth, black pork. Like, all these fish look alike. Saltwater fish are tastier, but they're like... nothing really, like... nothing really to look at. They look better on your plate than an aquarium. Good morning, how are you? When you're ready, go to a fishing... Good luck out there. You'll find a lot of new fish at the cove. How about trying to catching 5 right-eye flounder to start with? Okie dokie. Wow, there's like 5 fish here. It's like right at the end, it's like we need to extend this game out a little bit more. Like there's 2 here, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2 and 3, and then it's like, okay, there's like 5 on that one, but then like, you know, let's cram 5 more fish here. That'll be great. These broad, deep waters hold large fish, fierce fish, here to test the skills of any angler. Got what, a metal jig? Let's try it. I'm on game. I think flounder are on the bottom of the ocean. I see that Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel's also been released, and everybody's, like, playing that? I just can't play collectible card games. My brain just doesn't think like it. Like, strategy and stuff. And I hear that it's just like, I don't know, it's like everybody gets all these decks and it's like... to me, the fun of a card game is building a deck. Like, all sorts of different decks. But it just always seems in collectible card games that you get, like, a few decks that everybody plays, and it's like, oh, that person's playing that deck, well, you play this deck to counter that deck. Then you play that deck to counter this deck, etc., etc. Where there's, like, really no... Like... all the rest of the cards just might as well just be, like, garbage. Like, why even print them anymore? Like, I don't even know what's going through the mind of some of these, like, the card makers, like... Or they're like, yeah, we're gonna create this monster, they're not really gonna use it, no one's gonna put it in their deck, but we created it, and it's in this deck. It's just like cardboard filler. That could be a rare, but it's not. I want to flounder in my... But I mean, I like playing the card game when, like solo story mode. Like, that's fun, but, like, playing it against people, no. And Pokemon has the worst one, because whenever the seasons switch around, like, every 3 months, I do believe, then, like, half the cards in your deck just, you cannot play them. They're, like, they're out of, rotation. I mean, you can play them for, like, unlimited play and stuff. But, like, you know, in the league play and all that, you have to, like... You have to play with, like, the latest and greatest, which... That's probably why probably why the card game's still around, is that you always have to keep buying new cards. With Yu-Gi-Oh! I hear that there's decks 20 years old that that are still good today. Which, I kind of like the fact that I can use old cards to make a deck. But also the fact of now there's, like, so many cards that, like... And there's always new cards being released. And there's new different, gimmicks. Like, there's the Link gimmick, the Synchro Summoning gimmick, my favorite, the Pendulum gimmick. Where it's like, you gotta learn how to do all that. I still don't understand. I still don't really quite get Synchro Summoning and Summoning. I mean, I know how to do it. It's just, you know, you have this, do what it says on the card, you have this, you have that, and then you can make this. But it's like... It's like, I guess it's like, some of the effects, I don't understand why I would want them. No. Like, sometimes I understand why you want to discard cards, because then you have other cards that says, like, if you discard a card, this card, like, gets this and that. And then other cards that are like, also if you discard a card, if it's a creature card, you automatically summon it back to the field, so where you can discard a card, increase the attack defense of a card, while also, like, putting that card back into play. But, like, finding all the stuff I need to, figure it out. I mean, I play Vanguard. I played some Vanguard. And that just seems a lot easier to figure out than Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's... You can only, like... do so much in that game, and the games go real quick, like... They're over, like, by the third or fourth turn. Sometimes fifth turn. But, yeah. While Yu-Gi-Oh! You can drag a battle out real long. Like, lots of cards, like, the enemy can't attack you. Or, like, some of the cards I have is, like, this card can only be destroyed by XYZ. Although I shouldn't say XYZ, because XYZ summoning, as a matter of... Xyz summon is what it's called. XYZ summoning is also a way to summoning you. Like, I think one of them is like Amazon. I think it's called Amazon Queen or something. It can only be destroyed very specifically. Or she takes no damage from other creatures. then there's like trap cards to where sometimes I'm like this trap card, I thought it did this, but it's not doing the thing when the person's doing the thing, and it's like, doing the thing. It's like, do I just misunderstand how the card works? Probably, but like... So, my deck in, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Any Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game I play is, like, super basic. And, like, I have, what is it, Link Evolution? It's the one for the Switch and the PC. The last game. It doesn't have voice acting in it. And you can play, like, the single player. And you have to play single player to unlock the card packs. I've just been, like, using, like, this OP pendulum summoning that I've been doing. Like, especially if I get my magicians right. Oh, wow. I don't remember. One of them is, like... One of them is like, if this magician or something is in like the other pendulum slot, then this like does a thing, and then the other one that when you summon it, it's like if the one before it is also in the other slot, it does a thing, and it's like I have both of them, so it's like I was like ah ha 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 ha. Not only that, pendulum summon is pretty broken because it's like I have pendulum summon level of like 0 or 1 in the left slot, and a pendulum summon of like 7 or 8 in the right slot, and it's like, I don't need to tribute summon. If it falls between those numbers, I just throw it on the table. It's like summoned, 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 summoned. So you got like a really lot of powerful creatures out, like just like that. It is so broken. That's like my whole deck revolves around those two mages, and getting out a lot of monsters on the first turn, and like just crushing the enemy, like in the ensuing turns, and making sure that they can't get anything out. And if that doesn't work, then just restarting the entire match until it works. Which is probably not the good thing to do. I should probably just build a deck that, probably just build a deck that just works, you know? Was Red Eye Flounder, you are really just a warm-up, though. I have a more challenging mission for you tomorrow. Sometimes salmon migrates to the cove. It's always fun to catch them in salt water. Why don't you try to land 5 of them? Salmon. Was it always cut off at the bottom? I swear that my captions were, like the top was getting cut off more than the bottom one. Where are you, caption? Alright, how that works. And I bet when I reload OBS again, it's gonna be like, yeah, you know when you had it before? Yeah, you could put it back to that. That's where it was working. Like I said, I had to, like, clean all Windows, which... That is no fun. I really hate that Windows is like, I want to format the entire drive, which means taking everything you know and love off the drive, rather than let me delete all the files that pertain to running Windows. Like, let me just get rid of the Windows directory, like the Windows folders, program files, and program data. And just delete, delete what I need to, like, to actually load Windows, because and then, and then reinstall it to, like, right there. Because, like, I think XP, maybe 7. Maybe 7. I know at least XP, it would not install if it found a Windows folder. If you rename the Windows folder, it would install itself just fine. So you could, like, rename your Windows folder, install Windows XP, and then just copy over all the files from, the other thing that weren't in the... just drag it, and it says you want to overwrite, just say skip. And then, there goes all your fonts and your other DLLs and stuff that you were missing. The rest of your files, they stayed right where they are on the hard drive. Windows XP's not like... I mean, I think it says, like, this will, like, delete the files on the drive, but I remember installing it that's like it didn't touch any of the files. Maybe Windows 11 does that, but I think it just formats it before installing anyways. But I honestly had to, like, format the whole drive because I had to change it back to MBR from because GPT says that is the only hard drive that you can boot. MBR means hard drive you can boot. I also had to turn off secure boot and TPM. That's like what Windows 11 needs. That's another thing. I think I said I've upgraded to Windows 11. That's a big mistake. Don't do it. Just do not do it. They changed so much. The fact that you need secure boot and TPM and your hard drive needs to be GPT. And then it'll, like, maybe install. But I know that's all, like, security features, but it seemed to cause a lot more trouble than, like, keeping me secure. Also, Windows 11 is gonna have mandatory VBS, something variable something something, which means that, like, your games are gonna, they're gonna be laggier. I mean, I just kind of honestly wish that, like, maybe, like, Windows 11, hopefully it's a breaking point for people to where they're like, I need to upgrade to a system that's modern. Oh, what modern OSs do we have? It's like, like that does the things, and it's like, you know, let's try Linux. Let's make Linux happen. Like, I'm not one of those people like, oh, Linux is like, you know, everyone should have Linux. Well, I stopped myself, like, I think it would... Everyone should at least have a Linux boot disk. And if you can afford it, a Linux boot partition, because when lots of times when Windows has just gone completely broken, the Linux has kind of saved me to be able to go in, do some file checks, delete files that I couldn't delete on Windows, copy files that might have been, like, that were broken, like copy the new files over to where they unbreak. But, so I'm a proponent of maybe having a Linux boot thingy around. As it has helped me out. But I'm not gonna be like, everyone should switch to Linux, it's the bestest OS ever. I mean, Linux is honestly kind of a mess. Even, like, the most, like, user-friendly Linuxes are... You kind of sort of have to know what you're doing. Which, like... And the problem with Linux is the people, honestly. The people don't want to make it friendly. They're more like, well, people should just learn to do this and that. No, people don't want to do that. That's why people like Windows. I click install, it installs the thing. It installs all the dependencies it needs to run the thing with the thing. Versus Linux, which is like, oh, you can't install the thing because you need thing. Then you install the thing. And it's like, oh, or you can't install that thing because it needs another thing. You can't install the other thing because it needs yet something else. Or, the another thing you can't install because it requires the thing you're trying to install. Which, remember, needs the other thing to install. But you can't install that. Because it needs the another thing. Get into, like, a dependency hell. What's called dependency hell, to where it's like... It's a circular loop of dependency to where you can't install anything because it always needs something before it. And, like, users, you can't be having that with people. It just has to be click install, and it's there. And while Windows is all about permissions and stuff, that they, like, people are getting to know, like, what permissions are. People don't want to deal with allowing stuff to do stuff. And, I mean... Like, people just want the thing to go. They don't care if they're installing viruses. They will hit the yes button on viruses. Because they just want the thing to go. And that's what Linux has to understand, if people just want the thing to go. They just want to be able to, like, install it and it works. And having all these, type in your password every 5 seconds to install a thing is not good. I mean, even clicking yes to install a thing is very annoying, but it's a lot better than typing your password. And it's surely a lot better than, if you want to change these settings, open a terminal and type in... No, people don't want to type in anything into any terminals. They want a GUI. They want a graphical user interface. That's Linux's problem, is that the people that program in Linux, they don't want to make it for the rest of the people. They want to make it for their own little programming click thing. Even to make it easier for more people to get into Linux, they still kind of want to make it clickish. But no, a good thing about Linux is that you can just totally nuke your root partition and have all your settings and stuff saved to your home partition and just reinstall Linux and it works. It works. Rather than Windows 11 and where it's like gotta format everything and you don't have a home partition. It just crams all your user files with it on the root drive. And honestly, it's like... Windows, I just want you to just install all the programming bits onto your hard drive. Just Windows, isolate yourself from the rest of everything. Everything you need to run is on this drive. Everything that's mine... over here, so I can nuke you whenever you decide to, like, rumble the wrong way and replace you. And then when I replace you, come back, everything is like it was, but better. That's another thing I don't like is, Windows Registry. Windows Registry is a pain in the ass because once it's nuked, it's gone. You have to reinstall everything that requires the registry, which I'm glad I'm seeing a lot more programs of. Do you want to store the configuration files in this install directory? Yes, I do. So when the program gets nuked, all I gotta do is, remake the shortcut to the program. And it works fine with all my settings and stuff. Or maybe I have to reinstall it because there's some registry and settings you need, like setting it as like a default application or something. But past that, you know, like, all your settings are saved and everything else. Because Windows likes to nuke its user folder, and that's where all your settings are mostly saved, is your user folder, if not the registry itself. So, while you can save your user folder, you kind of have to go back and change all the permissions. Then you have a new install because all the permissions are messed up. Versus Linux, which all the permissions are whatever permissions you set for them. And usually Linux permissions aren't like Windows permissions. Or like, you're an admin, you can run the file. You're not an admin, you can't run the file. That's like usually what all Linux permissions are. They don't get into Windows of, you're not Joe Schmo. You can't run the file. Which, when you go into Windows and you look at all the permissions, there's trusted installer, there's systems, there's administrators, there's your user... Hitting the wrong damn button. There's your username, there's everybody else's username, there's default user, there's all users. It's just like... I just want this to go. Like, this isn't even a system file, it's just like a dumb program. And, like, I'm finding half the folders I have to take ownership of because it's just seeing it as owned by somebody else, and it's like, it's just a folder that has game. It's just a game. It doesn't matter who plays the game. It's not like it needs admin privileges. Why can't you just say that that's just a folder? Why do I have to be an admin to delete the folder? Why do I have to take ownership to delete the folder? It should be everyone's folder. But, like, Windows doesn't see it like that. And Windows is probably gonna say, that's what makes it so secure, but it's just a pain in the ass. Like, with TPM and Secure Boot, that's just a pain in the ass for people to, like, understand on how to set that up. To basically install Windows. Or upgrade to Windows. And if you don't have it, then you're stuck with Windows 10. But I get a feeling that they're probably maybe gonna have to roll back that restriction on Windows 11. So there's just gonna be a lot of home people that are like, I don't even know what a BIOS is. And, like, when they're trying to tell you, okay, go in your BIOS to turn this stuff on, if they're like, I don't want to touch that. If you touch something in the BIOS, you can mess your computer up to where it won't boot. And, like, then their computer... Well, I don't want to say it can't boot, but you would have to know how to get into the BIOS again to turn that feature off so it boots. But they won't understand that that's what they have to do. They'll just say, my computer broke real bad. I can't do computer. And then they'll say, it broke all over, and, like, they think the computer's worthless. They might throw it away, which is, like, it's gonna increase waste because people are going to throw away perfectly good computers that just need someone to go in and flip a thingy in a BIOS. Because they accidentally flipped the thingy in the BIOS the wrong way because they're trying to turn on TPM and Secure Boot. Nice job. That was a piece of cake for you, wasn't it? Which, yeah, it's... Actually, turning on Secure Boot and TPM involves me updating my BIOS, and figuring out how to, like, get TPM to actually, like... Turns out I just needed to turn my hard drive to GPT for it to see the TPM and the Secure Boot. I'm just throwing out letters, and if it sounds like you have no idea what's going on, think about your average user. Think about, like, I just buy computer, I want computer go. Or if they already have their computer, they're like, I want computer new. I want new OS on computer. Microsoft say I need new OS. Make computer new OS. And then they're like, I don't understand why no new OS. And it's like, it say I need EPM and Secure Boot, and I need BIOS. I don't know how to BIOS. I don't know what a BIOS is. Hey, I've already spotted some mahi-mahi at the cove. They're a highly sought-after game fish. Catch 1 over 43. Top water or minnows. Experiment to see what works best for you. But that's the average user. I want click a button. I want new OS because you say I need new OS to make thing go. I want thing to go. Which hopefully Windows will roll back the TPM and Secure Boot requirements. Well, at least maybe for the first part, I don't know. But dealing with GPT, Secure Boot, and TPM was a pain in the ass. And I'm glad I'd have nuked my drive and went back to 10, honestly. I should note for the VBS, the variable something security... Variable... something something. I don't know what it is. It's another security thing. But it's like, if you upgrade to Windows 11, it's not going to be turned on by default, but if you buy a computer that has Windows 11 installed, it's going to be on by default or something. At least that's how I read it. But like, Microsoft's just, they know they can do whatever they want, and no one's gonna do anything against them. Because they don't have any competition in the OS market. I mean, you can say, well, what about Macintosh? But like, Macintosh is for rich people. Also, Macintosh is a Linux flavor. Based off of OpenBSD. So you only really have Windows and Linux out there. Which, I just feel that Windows needs to be either taken down to where it becomes more... where they're making less changes because they can, and forcing them on everybody, or they're seriously in danger of losing their entire market to Linux or something. Or if somebody comes out with, like, some kind of other third OS system that, that does the things. Thing is that it's gonna have to be free. Because your competition is Windows, and one of the ways to beat Windows is not costing anything. Which Linux doesn't cost anything, but the problem with Linux is that there's 50 billion different flavors out there. Which is another thing that users have with, like, what flavor of Linux do I get? Everybody's gonna argue over what flavor of Linux is the best. And, like, that's the problem with them on their one-click installs too, is because each different Linux flavor has their own package manager. Like, I think Red Hat has RPM, Debian, I want to say, is apt-get? But that might just be, like, the typical thing. I'm trying to remember what they have. Usually use Debian flavor. Wait, maybe no, I don't think RPM is Debian, but there's like yum install, like different kind of installer things, install things. It's like, you can't have that. You have to have roughly one installer. It's like zip files, like 7-zip. It can do all the compressed files. Need something like that that can do all the installing of the RPMs and the yum, the other whatevers. Like, the other flavor, like, your flavor of Linux should not be that different from each other to where it's like, you need, DEB files. That's a Debian files. Debians are the one-click install things. Like, it shouldn't be like, when I'm making a game, I have to have 50 different kind of packages, because each thing wants its own kind of special package for the install. Which is why a lot of places are just download the source code and compile it yourself. That's basically what happens when you compile, is that you make the deb file that you double click on and it installs. Or when you're like, make install, you're just making it and installing it. But yeah, Windows 11, don't upgrade. Not only do they screw up the start menu yet again, your taskbar is permanently screwed up with, like, no way to get it back the way it was without using a third-party program. The only thing I liked about it was that, the theme for the whole system, it had a nice theme to it. Like, it rounded out the corners of the windows, and it had, like, this gradient pattern on the, the toolbars and wherever. That's about all I liked about it, is the theme. Another thing that I hated about Windows, with the problem I also had to clean install, was that I accidentally nuked some of the inbuilt programs that I needed. And there was, like, no way to install them again. And it, like, I broke the settings. Like, the settings panel, I got it to where it no longer functioned properly. and I couldn't install settings. Like, you shouldn't be able to break your system like that. I remember, at least with, and with 10, like, my Microsoft Store keeps getting broken over and over again. Like, it's just a thing that happens. Hi, Bunzel. Yes. I managed to break settings so bad to where I couldn't even open the settings panel to unbreak settings. That... What did I have to... I had to do an in-place upgrade to get my settings back. And then I forget what other problem that was in there that I broke, that I was like, you know what, I'm just putting 10 back on here. I'm not dealing with Windows 11 BS anymore. Great job. Those mahi-mahi have amazing coloring, don't they? And they put up quite a fight. Really coming along as a fisher sprout. Got some special tackle for your next fish. Tuna special. The 10 is bad enough. A secret weapon. I'm sure it'll be a big help to you. Champion! Like, I liked Windows XP. I know at the time everyone was like, Windows XP sucks and all that stuff, but then, like, it grew on me. It kind of was just, it did its thing and it functioned. Then they're like, oh, now we have Vista, and then now we have Windows 7, and then Windows 8, and then now Windows 10. And there's one thing that you don't do as a software developer is change things around all the time, because people get used to where things are and how things work, that when you change things around, it just makes it confusing for everybody. 98, XP, 7, 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know some people say they don't like 98, but 98 worked fine for me. XP worked fine for me. I didn't really have much experience from 7. I kind of went from XP 10. I think that was a thing you could do. Or maybe it was from 7 to 10. Like, I had 7 for like 5 seconds, and then I upgraded. I don't remember 7 that much. Maybe because, like... Yeah, it's probably 7 to 10 then. Just skip over 8. A lot of people were like, ain't liking that Metro thing. Today you'll be catching 2 bluefish tuna. They're large, magnificent fish. If you use the lure I gave you yesterday, you should be able to attract them easily. I'm trying to remember 7. I don't remember hating it, but I remember not liking the upgrade from XP. And now we have Windows 10, where even within Windows 10, some of the updates, like, changed everything around. Like, I remember being able to, right-click on my computer and go to Device Manager that way? Or open up a simpler window to where I can get the Device Manager? But now I have to open up this big, long settings panel and scroll bottom. Like, I know there's innovations, but how about we just not do, like, do these innovations that don't need to be done? Just make things so they make them work better, rather than, you know what? Let's go redecorate the living room again. Need to redecorate the living room for everything to run better? No, but we're gonna do it anyways. Or, like, you know, requiring everybody that doesn't have a pro version of the software mandatory upgrades, even when you're in the middle of doing something important. Like, maybe you are in the middle of a storm trying to get something done and decides to update, and then whoopsie, the power went out when it told you not to turn off your computer. Which I do think it just rolls the update back, but still, it's kind of annoying, and it might actually have installed stuff that it didn't undo and it breaks your computer. Or, you know, how about those updates that just literally do brick people's computers? They force an update and then it doesn't work, and then it's like, whoops. Like, you know, let me just update when I want to update. Which, that's why I got Windows Pro, is that you can actually just tell it, no, never update. Do not update ever. And I got, like, the Windows Update mini tool to where it's like, where I can just disable updates and then, like, just see what updates are available and then, like, update what I want. Part of the problem is that they were trying to break into the tablet and phone markets and decided it's too expensive to make the operating phones and tablets, so they just jammed it into the software for things that aren't really compatible. Yeah. And I do find it annoying whenever I go into Windows, a knowledge database, and they're like, tap or click. I'm like, ew. Shouldn't be tapping on things. I should be clicking on things. Which I think is for the Microsoft Surface, that you can, has a touch screen where you can tap things, but like you say, why are you running, like, the same software on a desktop as you are on a tablet? I mean, I get it, maybe you can, like, have the same programs? Tricking people's PCs to give support for the rear photo camera on a $140 phone. Yeah, there you go. I remember Windows CE. That was like the Windows you put on devices. Like, I mean, I think Dreamcast actually ran on Windows CE. I could be wrong. But it was like, this is specifically made for devices. It's not for a desktop computer, because our regular Windows is for desktop computers. But like, like if I have a phone and because it's the same Windows, can I install? I don't know. Whatever popular video game people are playing nowadays. The Calls of Duties, the Medal of Honors, the COD Blops. Like, dude, can I play that on my phone? I don't think so. Why is it the same OS? I mean, I like their dedication for a $140 phone. You know, like, let's get it so people can use their cameras on the phone they paid for, but, like, it shouldn't be the same software. And one of my friends in high school had Windows on her phone. It was some version of Vista. So her new phone had, like, 4 hours of battery life because Vista was so bad. Yeah. Vista was a mistake. But then again, Windows ME was a mistake. Windows 8 was a mistake. It's like all their in-between windows are a mistake. So Windows 11 is a mistake. Mistake waiting to happen. What was some proprietary software? Drug dealer flip phone you can buy at a gas station. Battery life. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was more paying attention to chat than fiction. Yeah, I mean, you gotta ask yourself, why are you buying a phone? Do I just want it to talk to people? Maybe talk to people, take pictures. You don't need probably a big-ass smartphone to do it. You could probably just get a flip phone. But, like, you're like, I want to play all the gacha games. Alright, then you probably need a smartphone to play all the gacha games. I mean, you know, text messages have been around since phones existed. Fortunately, smartphones are needed for online verification stuff now, or to have a flip phone probably. Yeah, with Google. Every time I log into Google, it's like, go to your device and press the yes button. Or scanning QR codes, or whatever. One of the people I follow is getting a Pine phone, I think it is. Which I might run on Linux or something, and I'm like, how does that work? I don't think, like, my carrier would support it. Or does it not matter what your phone is, as long as you stick a SIM chip in it, the phone will just know what to do? Kinda get a feeling is stick the SIM chip in it, the phone will know what to do. And they just tell you you can't use certain phones because it's just they just don't want to deal with the customer service. I'm not talking like what is it, GSM versus CDMA? Those, like, cause one you can't use one with the other because one of them, like, I think it's like doesn't use a SIM chip and the other does. Like, it's one of those literally you cannot use it because one requires a SIM. hurts. Probably, I need new fluff in my chair. Like, I have an executive chair, like one of them, like, I have, like, this chair was made for a large person. So I've got space on either side of me. But, like, the cushion in the chair, I think it's died. So, like, it's just... my tailbone straight up against, like, whatever metal is holding the base up. With metal or wood or whatever. And I've got, like, 2 or 3 other, like, pillows thing, but they're just not fluffy anymore. And I don't weigh that much. I don't weigh like, I don't weigh as much as this chair, the executive this chair was built for. Like, I am probably 150 pounds lighter than the executive this chair was built for. Fantastic job! Those bluefin tuna are quite a sight, aren't they? Sleep well tonight, there are new challenges to face tomorrow. You know, I kind of missed the Vita games where, like, there was a story going on. Like, you know, where it could get, like, you could make it creepy if you wanted to. Even sometimes we're fishing and we don't know why we're catching this fish, they just tell us to catch it. Here it's just catch this fish. Catch this fish. Going to be your last challenge at the cove. Catch a bluefin tuna over 6'6". Careful, it'll be awfully strong at that size. I'm imagining an Otome game to where all the fish are like pretty men, and you like go fishing for men. So it's like catch me a tuna over 6'6". It's like, you know, it's an actual, like, I don't know, a mer person. Maybe it's the guy with like fins stuck to him. Maybe he's kind of the pattern on his skin is like the bluefin tuna or like the yellowtail or the mahi-mahi. There's probably no market for what I'm thinking of, you know, like you literally go fishing for men. And if you catch, like, a fish that has a personality, like, maybe there's, like, random personalities that get assigned to the fish you catch. Or, like, these kind of fish have, like, these, that, like, they're this, like, this fish has, like, 5 different personalities it selects from. It would probably sell despite not having a legit market. Well, Phoenix Wright made, you know, like, attorney simulator games popular. It's like, just make a market. Here's the market you didn't know that you wanted. I'm thinking I could make it like a training game. Like, I've seen on Steam all these girlfriend trainings. It'd be like, train your fish boy. Probably do Fish Girls easy for a mobile game though, like Concole but Fish. Yeah, but I don't like girls. There's probably a game like that already out there. Want to do Fish Boys. But you're right, it'd probably be like... probably get more interest if it was girls. But maybe, you know, maybe just having Fish Boys just gets that market that wasn't tapped. Because nobody wanted to tap it because this sells. So we're gonna make this thing. not so much handsome men to fishers, but handsome men to women that didn't know they wanted to be a fisher. Yeah, it's easy to sell fishing to horny men. Yep, definitely. I mean, you're not wrong. That's what I guess that's what I'm trying to say is you're not wrong. But if I'm gonna make a game that I want to see, it's gonna be this thing. Even if 2 people like it, it would still make me feel happy that at least, you know, somebody else had, like, the idea of actually fishing fish boys. And I kind of want to do it. I would probably want to make it more than just, like, collectathon. Like, Mandrake Boys? I think it's called Mandrake Boys. Which basically just, you grow men, and just collect them. You can't really talk to them or interact with them. I kinda want mine to be more interactable. It should be a lot, well, very, like, super complex on, like, a tree. Honestly, I think we're onto something with just this. Make both games, swap out the voice acting and JPEGs. That's probably what a lot of these companies do, is just, like, they swap out the JPEGs. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, DMM Games, like, they swapped out the Token Ranbu boys with girls and maybe did the skin, and then they have, like, I think they did Konkole. Or one of the, they have, like, a few games. They've done a few games. Rinse, repeat. But, you know, maybe I just want to make the joke that when you find a fish that has a personality you don't really like, you throw them back in the ocean, and then it will say, "Ah, yes, there are other fish in the sea." You know, people would do a facepalm. Because it's a terrible joke, because they're literally fish, and there are other fish in the sea. Because that's the game. But, like, I've been enjoying Token Ranbu, even though it's very basic gameplay. It is just, like, a stat builder combat thing. Honestly, I'd rather play, Bungo to Alchemist, but it's not in English, so I take what I can get. I mean, for what was it? Grappa was in the game? I don't think it was My Boyfriend. I think it was like it had more words in the title, but it was like you had the My Boyfriend one. There was My Animal Boyfriend, and then there was another one that was just a regular boyfriend. That was like My Animal Boyfriend Part 2, but less animal themed. But they also had a girlfriend raising one that was just basically asset swap. But I don't know. Fishing up pretty men. It's just weird enough that people would be into it at least for 3 seconds. Like, dating pigeons, people were into it for 3 seconds. The only thing I hate about that game is its spawn. Like, honestly, Hot Tofu Boyfriend had a storyline. Like, it was a ridiculous comedy storyline, but there was a deepness there to it with some of the lore going on. But lots of the spawns from it are just very, they're just empty. They're the parody and nothing else. Like a Tamagotchi kind of thing. I don't think it was exactly a Tamagotchi kind of thing. I think if Fishing Men had really over-the-top animations calling them and sell a lot of copies. It was kind of basically a dress-up game. But there was also, usually all the events are you're walking through something and forget whether you attack or something. You use energy, and sometimes you can get some of the stuff you need to get, like the event, whatever, dress-up things. Kind of basically a dress-up game. I'm not even sure if it's still it's still around. Honestly interesting that selling games marketed towards wanting to do a business model. Yeah? Yeah? I mean, what was it? Is it Degika? That has that, like, crab battle game? Or the seafood fight game? I kind of see it in bundles on occasion, but it's like you're a crab or something and you fight like other sea life with lasers and stuff. I don't, and I'm not sure. Maybe, if you've ever bought, like... Well... I'd say if you've ever bought a bundle, but I know I don't own it, but... And I've bought lots of bundles, but, I mean, it looks interesting, but maybe not my kind of game. I'll have really bad fishing. Maybe I just, what am I gonna say? It's like, I know what kind of fishing game I like, I guess. But I don't really have a lot of... Well, watching how somebody suffer through bad fishing games is more my thing than actually suffering through bad fishing games. I should say. I like watching people play fishing games, no matter how good or bad they are. But, you know, maybe more especially bad because it's funnier. I still say that the ocean fish that I'm looking at look more like food than friends. And like the freshwater fish I'm catching look more like friends than... Although a lot of the fish I like to eat are from the ocean. And like the only kind of salmon I like is like really salty salmon, so it's like it might have well just come from the ocean. Hopefully I can get through all of the real fishing games. That's my goal. Get through all the real fishing games. And then get through the fishing master games? And then do like a few one-shot fishing, like Fishing Resort. I like that the fins disappear every time the fish turns, except the bottom one for... I don't know why it does that. I've been trying to figure it out. I think it might just be the way the emulator does backface culling. And I'm wondering if it's not inbuilt to the like... I gotta see if it's like on the actual game itself. I do own this game on my 3DS. Like, you know, see if it was actually in the, like, the actual game, where, like, the fins disappear when they're facing a certain direction because of the normals or the back faces or whatever. Because nobody turned on two-sided shading. Like, you can also see through the gills. Alright, this mission's gonna be the last mission. And hopefully it won't take me, like, 2 months to get back to the next episode. I need a 6-foot fish. Better be the 6-foot fish. I can imagine the fish are probably recycled from static objects to decorate buildings, trophies. Maybe. But considering this is like a long-running series from like the PlayStation days, they're just probably asset flipping their fish. You know, I add some more polygons, ship it. Like it's a big... It's hard to say how a lot of these games are developed anymore. I'm sure they buy a bunch of models. Possibly. I just kind of get a feeling for this game in particular that they made their models back in the day of like however many fish models, and they just like upgrade them. It's like, even in this game, I can see where a lot of the, like, repeat models for different fish. Like the salmon, like some of the salmons and, the trouts and stuff. They just swap the textures on it. I mean, like, for this fish, for this series, I would say they probably just reuse their old models, but for, like, other, PS1 or PS2 ports, I guess could be the poly count. But other fishing games, so where, like, this is, like, our first fishing game, like, yeah, they probably just bought, fish models. That is a lot of fish. 400 pounds of fish. I want to eat that. You know what? I'm keeping it. I'll keep it. What a catch! You're an amazing fisherman. Come a long way, my friend. It's thrilling to see how much your skills have grown. Ready to take on the final fishing location tomorrow. Flooded Forest unlocked. Oh, and I have something else for you. This should look great in your aquarium. Got temple column for the freshwater and saltwater. I'll get rid of my grouper. Must be the columns. How big are they? 4. But I chose not animate the individual. That would take extra work. Just easier to throw an image up there. Like, even in Road Trip Adventure, you only have the casting arm that's animated. Everybody else is a static image. What do I want to get rid of? I'll get rid of this rock. Like, I think the main thing is like, this is a fishing game. We put more effort into the fish. Like, the NPCs kind of just don't really matter to where the game's concerned, is that it's like you don't model what you don't see, like the way it goes in 3D modeling. You don't model what you don't see. So, we don't model what was not the main game, and like the NPC, like I kind of would have liked maybe a couple more NPCs, but I guess the game they wanted for the 3DS is there's this one guy that just gives you fishing quests. Wonder how well a lot of these fish sell. I've only bought console ones or really cheap digital ones, or free by talking to them. For real fishing, I'm not sure. But I guess sold enough copies to where they had made Road Trip Adventure for the Switch and the PC. Fishing Fighters, I have no idea. but Atlas decided to bring that one over. Like, and it's probably different audiences too, because you have the ultra realist or try to be ultra realistic fishing, like Kabbalah's Bass Pro Shop and stuff. But then you have like the you have the middle of the road, which I'd say Real Fishing's kind of middle of the road. It might have anime graphics here and there, but like the fish are ultra realistic looking and the NPCs don't matter. And then you have like it's an anime fishing game. The fish are kind of cartoony, and then the characters are anime. Might appeal to a I don't know, an audience that wouldn't normally pick up a fishing game. Which, that's how I got into fishing games, was like, I was like, lol, a fishing game? Oh, at least it has an anime theme to it. I'll go buy it for $5 out of the bin. So, I didn't waste that much money when I never play it. And then, like, I played it for 12 hours straight. Or over-the-top arcade style. Yeah, like, Angler Spirit? Duty Spirits. It's Angler something in English. Where it's the fishing is less about like this, like fishing like this, and more about like how many fish can you catch in 5 seconds, or like Sega bass fishing. Get the fish in your boat as fast as possible. Well, I'm gonna call this a stream. Let me save it. Let me save it on stream so I know what I'm doing. Next episode, episode 10. Probably the final episode. Unless this game's like, oh, now it's post-game. Every time Sega Bass Fishing goes on sale, like 10 people send it to me. I assume you have the game 10 times over by now. Switch to powering down. I meant the link. I have this game, but don't like it. Yeah, I've had the game, and I try to play it, but I can't quite get past like the first or second level. I just don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm doing something wrong, I know that. It's not like this to where you have all the time in the world to catch a fish. That one's like, no, you must catch your fish, 10 fish in 5 minutes. I might one of these days, like, in between, going from real fishing to, like, fishing master, like, to do a Sega Bass Fishing, like, a stream. Be like, look at me fail at fish. No, it's where I want to, like, shove the bass fishing guy into the ocean. But arcade fishing games, I'm not really too much of a fan of them. Like, depends on the mechanics of them. I tried Duty Spirits, and it's not really a fishing game. It's definitely an arcade something. Definitely not worth the $60 they want for it. Not really even worth $40. Hunter Dan's Bow Fishing Survival Gauntlet? on a second. I have Hunter Dan's something, 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 something. What did I download? Hunter Dan's Bow Fishing, that's all it's called. Yeah, Hunter Dan's Bow Fishing Survival Gauntlet. It's on my hard drive somewhere. I don't know, I probably have to install it still. But it's on my hard drive. It's taking up space on my hard drive. It sounds like it's gonna be fun. One of those, like, over-the-top kind of fun games. It's not like Monster Hunter with fish, is it? Maybe it is Monster Hunter with fish. Anyways, everybody, thanks for joining me. Brian gonna be here Thursday, Friday-ish. Really janky if you enjoy jank, but it's also hard. Not certain I enjoy jank. It depends. I'll poke at it. I'll give it the good old college try. Which usually means doing C-grade work and ignoring it. That's at least what I did in college. Until, like, junior, senior year. Like, yeah, you have to try now. Like, my first two, freshman, sophomore was mostly spent playing Dungeons and Dragons. And playing too much computer games and Dreamcast games. SO1. Anyway, take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, trying to try to be here Thursday, Friday with Revenant Saga. Gonna try to do fishing regularly like I was at one point. Maybe if I feel streaming anything else, I might stream other stuff. Until then, let me see. It's daylight. Daylight. People might be like streaming. Alright, no one's, like, really streaming anything interesting other than, like, Bob Ross. Which everybody can go to Bob Ross if they want to. Let's see, just chatting, Oxygen not included, God of War, Final Fantasy 12, speedrun. I think I'll just let all of you go to where you know you want to go, that you're probably gonna go anyway. Take care, everybody.